by far the biggest catastrophe that I've ever heard of.
Really? Really? I'm from California. As a matter of fact, my mother was born just right here. And I spent a lot of time with my grandfather here. He was a firefighter, and he used to fight fires all through here. Wildfires and brush fires. They'd burn across the plains. That's Corning, California, which is, you'll see if you look on a map very close. I just want to point out how self-centered people are. I mean, that woman's a perfect example. The biggest catastrophe she's ever heard of. And it's just because it happened to her. You know, her poor little pampered ass, because asses, they're out camping because they don't have money, right? They found a little place somewhere around Paradise that they could squat at, basically, and now it's gone, and they're finding out what people like me have known all my life, that you're just 2 seconds from being homeless or utterly dependent upon nobody, because you can't get anybody to help you. So yeah, you know, these people who spend their whole lives not giving a shit about anybody, and then something happens to them and all of a sudden it's the worst catastrophe she's ever heard of. What a fucking moron. Do you want me to show you what's going on in Yemen? Do you want me to show you all the millions of people living out on the street in the United States? And do you want me to show you the war in Syria? Do you want me to show you the 1 million people who died in Iraq because you don't have the balls or the time to stand up to your own government? I mean, Americans should have been marching through the streets by the millions, in defense of those poor people that we allowed our young guys to go over and murder. Murder. Do you not understand that? I mean, did Chelsea Manning not make it clear enough for you? Here, let me make it clear enough for you. Just hang on while I look this up. I know I'm spelling it wrong, but it won't matter.
More that keep walking by, and one of them has a weapon.
Roger, receive target.
Okay.
208.
See all those people standing down there?
Stand by. Roger.
So this is an Apache
And open
helicopter.
courtyard.
Yeah, roger. I just estimated
There's
probably
a-
about 20 of them. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It fires bullets that are about as long as your hand.
I don't know if that's
Any Bushman element, copy at White 6.
Very
a weapon.
rapid fire.
Hotel 26, Crazy Horse 18.
We'll call for change by Charlie Mike Bravo. Speed 37.
I'm Red White 6, Bushman 6 Romeo. Roger.
Fucking break.
Hotel 26 is Crazy Horse 18. Have individuals with weapons.
That weapon is
Yep,
a
he's got a
camera.
weapon too. Hotel 26, Crazy Horse 18. Have 5 to 6 individuals with AK-47s. Request permission to engage.
Roger that. We have no personnel east of our position, so you are free to engage over.
Alright, we'll be engaging.
Roger, go ahead. I can't get them now because they're behind that building.
Any Bushman element, copy
We
at
got
White 6.
RPG.
Alright, we got a guy with an RPG.
I'm gonna fire. Okay.
No, hold on, let's come around.
Behind buildings right now from our point of view.
Yeah, we're gonna come around and
Hotel
get him
26
from
has
so we can
eyes
get
on
all
individual with
all
RPG. Getting ready to fire. We won't.
Yeah, we got a guy shooting. Now he's behind the building.
God damn it.
Speed coming around.
Negative. He was right in front of the Brad. About there 1 o'clock. Haven't seen anything since then.
Just fucking, once you get on, just open up.
Okay, Roger. I see your element. You got about 4 Humvees.
Okay, so I'd like to point out here that nobody's shooting, nobody's fired anything. These guys are like super jumpy. No American troops are under threat. There's no fighting going on. These guys are trigger happy. Okay, now you can argue all day long about, oh, there was, I don't know, whatever, all kinds of bullshit, right? But the fact is there's nothing going on here. These people are out walking around in the streets. There's obviously no bullets flying around because they'd all be running to hide. So nobody's shooting at American troops. Nothing's happening.
Right along this,
You're clear.
Alright, firing.
line here, with the space line,
Let me know when you get it.
We'll shoot. Light them all up.
So all these guys are just milling around, obviously for whatever reason they're talking, and 2 of them are reporters and have a big camera and like a camcorder, and the other one has a camera, and this is what they do to them.
Come on, fire.
Hey, Roger.
Keep shooting. Keep shooting.
Bushmaster 2-6. We need to move time now.
Alright, we just engaged all 8 individuals.
Yeah, we got 2. We're still firing.
Roger.
I got him.
6 is a 2-6. We'll move, but we got 13.
Oh, fuck, sorry. Well, I was done.
Bypass.
God damn it, Kyle.
Alright. I hit him by head.
And they think it's funny.
Alright, you're clear.
Alright, I'm just trying to find targets again.
Bushmaster 6, this is Bushmaster 2-6.
Okay, I'm not going to show you anymore because it's absolutely disgusting. And we know that it's not just a one-time deal. This is stuff that happened every day in Iraq, because over 1 million people died, and most of them at our hands in that kind of way. Were Iraqis fighting back? What do you think? Wouldn't you try to get a little revenge if something like that was done to your brother or your cousin or your mother or father? Of course they were fighting back. And we shouldn't have been there, you know? The best case scenario, we should have left after we got Usay and Kusay. and Saddam, you know. I'm not complaining about us taking out the Ba'ath Party. They were a bunch of pigs, just like our government is a bunch of pigs. I wouldn't say anything if somebody came in and took out our government, because there's so many bad people in it doing so many bad things. I think that the people are, if our government is, and not the whole government, but the conservative element in our government is so bad now that it would be justice if somebody were to do something about it. Probably if you know, we could just wish ourselves a better government, you would just get the conservative element out of our government. And that includes conservative Democrats. All of them. All of them are just paid shills for the rich. I've lived through one civil war. I don't want to have to live through another one. But the way that they're pushing the people around, that's exactly what we're going to end up with. And, you know, these people, like this girl, you know, they're just perfect examples of why our country's so fucked up. Because they're not willing to, you know, we need to do the, what we need to do to get, so like we need to vote all these people out, set up our government so that they can't get back in, so that the capitalists can't run our government. And then we need to get our government, who's no longer run by capitalists, to get a handle on the capitalist system. It's been running over us for 100 years, 150 years. And we need to get control. We need to put it on a leash. You know, at the very least, we just need to put it on a leash. So that's what we need to do. We don't need some other country to come in here and knock off the rich people. We don't need for us to get up and knock off the rich people. We have the tools that we need in as a democracy and as a people. You know, like Bernie Sanders says, when millions of people stand up and fight, we win. So we need those. There's millions of you out there who know exactly what I'm talking about. You don't want to give these vicious motherfuckers an excuse to start shooting. So you don't want to start a war. You don't want to start killing them, dragging them out and setting up guillotines, you know, like the French Revolution. You don't even want to talk about that. Now, I'm not saying they don't deserve it, okay? Matter of fact, they do deserve it. But that's not there's a better way. And we can take them without that kind of because that's going to get lots of us killed too. So that's the main reason that I wouldn't do it. But then there's the other reason. You don't understand how dark that place is that you're going, and how usually it turns on itself somehow, even if you do get the right outcome, which is a better government for the people. We have what we need: democracy. We can vote them out. We can set up the kind of economy we want to set up without their influence anymore. We can pick and choose, you know, what kind of economy we want. You want capitalism here? Fine. You want communism here? Fine. You want socialism here? Fine. Whatever works. But you know what the first step is? The first step is going to be to try and get idiots like this, who the only time that they ever care about what's right and wrong and their fellow citizens is when they get burned out of their house. You need to get them to care without being burned out of their house. Now, how you do that is simple. You reach out to them. And I'm going to make an important point right here. I can see for sure that the conservatives, capitalists, have specifically designed what is now what I would call the American culture. For everybody to not talk to each other. They've set it up so the progressive values, the common sense kind of goodness that exists in all people, that's self-contained. It's all just tightly wrapped up in people's own self-centeredness. They're not talking to each other, and they're not starting to understand that they've got a lot in common. Problems with the rich conservative establishment, capitalist, tiny minority is standing in the way of progress for the American people. They don't get that sense because they're not able to talk. That's why the social media and other tools on the internet, that's why it's so important. Because people are starting to talk in here, and you know, they're starting to hash things out. You know, they're starting to figure out that they're a vast majority and that they're being ruled by a small group of capitalists. And I don't know, I don't even understand quite how capitalism and conservatism comes together. But it does. Because conservatives are that group of people who enforce capitalist will, the ruling class, right? They're silencing people like me, putting us in jail. I'll be in jail for the next 3 months, so you guys aren't going to hear from me. Maybe some of you are happy about that, but you don't understand how good I am for you. I'm explaining these things. There's other people out there who can explain them, but I think I explain them a little more accurate. I think that my study, where this is concerned on this subject, my study is how capitalists, the ruling class, how they implement their tyranny over the people. And my going to jail is just, you know, as far as I'm concerned, I'm on a 3-month project to study the internal workings of the prison system. I'm undercover, man. Yeah, way undercover. So, you won't be hearing from me until I get out, I guess. I doubt seriously they let prisoners have the internet. But, and you know, before I go, let me say this just to kind of make sure that I do feel sorry for all these people. But, man, you know, if you as a people don't stand up for yourselves, then aren't you really guilty of... I mean, what's she really complaining about? Is she saying, look, we shouldn't be out in tents, the government should have put us somewhere? Okay, if that's what she's saying, alright, I absolutely agree. And the reason the government doesn't respond immediately is because of the capitalist system. I mean, it's in the end, it's going to be because of a lack of will created by the ruling class. Otherwise, you know, they'd find a place. You know, maybe kids would have to give up their gym for a few months, at least for something, and maybe hotels would be paid by the government to put people, you know, I know there's 25 or 30,000, but there aren't really that many because there were only 2,300 homes destroyed. So you're talking max 5 or 10,000 people are homeless at this point. So, you know, I'm not real sure what she's talking about, but my point is typical average Americans like this, they just don't give a shit until something happens to them. And I've been saying this and I've been hearing this all my life, and it's got to stop, man. You got to start caring about other people if you want other people to care about you. Can you understand what I'm talking about? Alright, well, I know I'm all over the place, but believe me, there's bits of wisdom in all of this. So, it is worth listening to, and it is worth trying to understand, and when you wrap your mind around it, you arm yourself with knowledge. So, thanks for listening. This is Martin Drummond from Democratic Party, or Progressive Democratic Party Headquarters News, signing off.